Undocumented people, though, also can sometimes have a form of relief available to them known as voluntary departure, which is a request to the immigration judge that the immigration judge not give you an order of removal but allow you to leave on your own. But an order of voluntary departure can be beneficial in some ways because it doesn't count as an order of removal technically against you, but it has a lot of the same consequences, especially for people who are here undocumented. In particularly the fact that people who leave on voluntary departure after having been here undocumented will face the same bars from coming back to the United States. Sometimes they often have to pay for their trip, and if you leave from a detention center, you often have to pay ICE in order to purchase your ticket back to your country. So, you know, in lots of ways, it's not a great form of relief, because you think of relief as a way for you to stay here in the United States, and involuntary departure is really still a way for you to just go back to your country, and often not because you really want to, but because you feel like you have no choice. The one benefit that voluntary departure can provide for people, though, is when they want to, if they want to come back to the United States in the future, it might be easier for them to get a visa to come back if they've had an order of voluntary departure as opposed to an order of removal against them. The other way in which it can benefit some people, and of course here we're still talking about undocumented people, because for green card holders who ask for voluntary departure, it's a little bit different. But for people who are undocumented and ask for voluntary departure, if they are minors when they leave, they won't face the same bar to coming back later. In the immigration system, the forms of relief available for people who are undocumented, again, as I said, are not many. So you can apply for persecution-based relief, what we often hear about in terms of asylum or withholding of removal or protection under the Convention Against Torture. And that's for people who are afraid of going back to their country because they feel like they're going to be persecuted. Another form of relief that people try to do in immigration court, and just like asylum, it's very difficult, is what's known as cancellation of removal for non-lawful permanent residents. And that's based on somebody living here for a long time. It has to be a minimum of 10 years. They have to be a person of quote-unquote good moral character. So that means if you have almost any kind of criminal conviction against you, you're not going to be able to meet that good moral character requirement. And lastly, you have to show that you have green card holder or U.S. citizen, spouse, children, or parents that would suffer extreme hardship if you were to be deported. And the way that immigration counts extreme hardship is very different from how normal everyday people would think of extreme hardship.